Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing the new 2023 lineup of Callaway Apex. So we've got the Apex Pro, Apex CB, Apex MB, and to help me with it today, we've actually got one of our PGA associates here on staff and also current Callaway staffer, Nicky Beecroft.
What's going on? It's been a while since we've come out with, Callaway's come out with the new Apex line. Especially starting out with this Apex Pro. I'm just excited to see, what it sounds and feels like. In the previous model, I felt like it was a little jumpy, and I really like what they did to the shaping. They added that little bit of skid plate on the sole, little, backside relief.
Yep.
So I'm really excited. This isn't typically an iron I would play, but I'm excited to kind of see what it does.
Well, I mean, for you, it'd almost be like a driving iron, like in a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, that's you're 100% right, because right now I'm in my 2-iron. I'm using a 3-iron head from the Rogue Pros, because I like that minimal offset. I still like that thin top line, which that's what's so great about this new Apex Pro, especially for those lower handicaps. If you want to get into a blade-inspired club, this gives you that package, but you still got a little bit of forgiveness in it. So excited to see if that's true.
Awesome. Well, let's hit it and find out.
Cool. So I'm going to start with the Apex Pro. We're going to be using the same shaft in each club. We're using the Tour Issue Dynamic Gold S300 Mid 115, all 7-iron heads, and we're going to give it 5 swings and see what the numbers show. A little low on the face, a little pulley. That'll sit good.
What do you think about the sound of it?
It sounds like damper than what I expected.
Yeah.
Right? I expected it to be a little like higher pitched.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these clubs, because this is kind of a trending club in our industry right now, this pseudo game improvement players iron that's hollow body, we traditionally, acoustically, has been loud and clicky.
Yeah.
This one's almost slightly muted a little bit.
My red marking center toe, that's pretty good for me. No, you're exactly right. And it feels a lot softer right now from what I'm used to. So. What
the general public may not know with this iron is when it first came out for us as fitters, because we've had it about 2 weeks, they were not happy with the sound.
Yeah.
So what was cool is Callaway had actually sent out an email to all performance centers saying, hey, we don't like the sound of this iron. Send your irons back. We've developed something else to kind of help acoustically. And they kind of owned up to not being 100% satisfied with the product. And to me, that kind of speaks volume. I mean, they wanted this product to be perfect since it's going to fit into such a wide array of players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's something that we really haven't seen a golf company do and say, hey, we're not super satisfied. Let me take it back and let's get you a new one.
That ball gets up in the air, doesn't it?
Yeah, even on some of those toe strikes, it didn't have any issue kind of reaching its, your peak height on that one was 114 feet.
Yeah, and I mean, me, I don't typically hit it high. That's one of the things I struggle with. And that's what I was excited to see about this club. I didn't want it to come out knuckling and be a 200-yard 7-iron.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the competitors to this. One more. I mean, that is much more, the dispersion's much tighter than what I expected.
Well, even the one that you kind of pull hooked, what I liked about it, it didn't come out
That's my miss.
2,800 spin and go 220 yards.
Yeah.
Because your dynamic loft on that one was 23 degrees.
Also, cool thing about this Apex Pro is they still kept in their longer irons that cut face,
Yep.
which has made them You know, how long has Callaway had the cut face now?
So I think they introduced it in the XR back
Yeah.
in, what, 2009,
You know,
10,
which
somewhere in there.
which makes their long irons just so easy to hit, you know, and helps kind of just get that ball in the air. And that's kind of what this iron's made for, right? If you're not going to always hit it in the center of the face, they want the ball to perform,
Absolutely.
you know, the same. So, you know, all in all, really good start. Obviously, you know, a cool thing about these weight ports, right, Kyle, is they're Callaway's offering different weights, you know, to kind of help with that swing weight, help with that feel.
Yeah, so like to regular retail, there's going to be a light, a mid, and a heavy. And then if you go to a place like us here at Loggerhead, they actually open up about 10 different weights.
Yeah.
So we can ensure that the swing weight is actually what we need it to be. And as far as club building, you know, me and you both know the last 2 years, swing weights have been horrible from the factory. So it's nice to see somebody address this issue and give us some flexibility while we're doing these fittings.
I'm thinking this might be a good, you know, for me, longer iron, like 4, maybe 5 iron option. All in all, I mean, I feel like this felt great. It looks really good. I love how you don't see any of the back.
I'll be interesting to see how the CB compares.
Yeah. Now I'm going to hit the CB right out of the gate. I can already feel that head weight that I'm used to. So
Just hear that sound difference going from that hollow body to the CB.
yep.
That 4-foot doesn't suck.
A little fat. I'll say pretty good. I hit that one good. That's the first one I hit in the center of the face.
How the CB compared to that Apex Pro feel and look?
I mean, biggest thing, feel. I would say you can't really compare because the head weight is just so different. The Apex Pro head weight just at the bottom just felt a lot lighter compared to this. So that's why the first few swings, my miss is to kind of pull, get that face a little shut. So I kind of had to recalibrate. But all in all, I mean, this is what I'm used to feeling.
Yep.
I mean, the look is great. Everything felt awesome about this iron, especially that sound. Like it just sounds firm. I mean, no complaints here. That was pretty good for pretty low on the face too.
Yeah.
So,
And I think what we'll see as we transition to the MB, the last iron here, since you currently play a
Yeah.
set of MBs,
Yeah.
I'll be curious to get your feedback on that.
yep. All right, I'm gonna hit the MB now. This is the newer model of what I'm currently playing, so I'm pretty excited. I definitely can see they changed some shaping in the head.
That came off like a rocket. That sounded great.
I'll be interested to see because that was a little thin. Skinny. To make it even, I'll hit one more. Because that was 5, right?
That's a 7, not 6.
I know.
Well, that's the 3. How was the MB?
It felt really good. as that first swing, you can see it kind of jumped off the face. So a little bit of light bulb. I mean, that's something that I like to feel. I like to feel a little firmness behind the ball. So all in all, awesome. It felt great.
Well, what's going to be fun is you currently play the prior generation
Yep.
MB. So let's hit your MB and compare it against the new one and see what differences there are.
Let's do it.
That one sounded good.
That's typical ball flight with these little low draw. I don't really sling it. It's all kind of starts pretty straight, moves left, so.
Awesome.
That's all I need to hit.
Perfect. Well, now that we've got everything wrapped up, we've got our comparison chart behind us to go over some ball data with you guys. And what's really cool about this lineup compared to the Titleist comparison video we did last week, all these Apexes are kind of meant for anyone and everyone. So it's kind of, you get to pick and choose which club you want to play. Where with that the T series, you're kind of, okay, well, we've got, for this handicap player, we've got this club. For this one, this one. So that's pretty cool tech-wise.
Yeah.
Because one thing that's really great about the Apex lineup is the way they move their CG around.
Mm-hmm.
So the short irons have your highest point of CG, your long irons have the lowest point. So regardless of tech in the head, they're going to pretty much launch at the same ball speed, regardless of loft. And, you know, obviously dynamic loft is so important in general, but
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing across the board is I personally thought Apex Pro could have a, you know, more of a jumper. You're at 125.3. With the CB, you're at 124. With MB, 125. And your current iron, 124.5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the proof in that CG displacement is right there. So, I mean, even with your, you know, your fully fitted custom-built club compared to essentially a stock one, you're not noticing a big difference in ball speed.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I was going to say 125 is right where I like to hang out. I don't need a 7-iron to go any further than 175.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what also, like, it's easy to get in here and just want to swing it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wanted to kind of put some stock swings and really kind of see what each club did different. For my biggest thing, I didn't really see a huge difference in ball flight. It was all kind of look and feel to me.
Well, as far as feel goes, which one out of the new lineup felt the best?
Apex Pro.
Which is kind of surprising to hear you say that.
Honestly, it was the sound.
Mm-hmm.
It was the sound. Like, you couldn't hear it, so it just felt soft. I know that's kind of weird, but it just felt super soft off the face, and it didn't feel like the ball was just flying a mile.
Good.
Right? If I'm going to say which one looked the best, by far it's the MB.
Yeah.
Which is actually surprising to me because a lot has changed from my model to this newer model.
Especially with the shaping and the weight system.
Yes.
From that circular weight to more of this more elongated weight.
Yeah, and my MB looked more similar to the CB because the face, it just looked, to my eyes, slightly more shut rather than the MB set up much more square. So when I was hitting it and those first couple swings started a little more to the right, and we can kind of see in the numbers, it side angle had a little more right biased. That was like a light bulb. That's what I wanted to see. And, you know, if I had to move into, I'm still hitting mine really well.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to move into the new one yet until I wear these grooves down. But yeah, I was thinking CB before doing this. After hitting this, the MB's kind of, I'm going to have to give it some thought for sure.
Well, and I think one thing before we switch over to the full spectrum of numbers is that total yardage. That's the part, like, you know, unlike the Titleist video where that T350 had just a massive yardage gain, you're 181, 180, 179.
Yep.
So, I mean, as far as across the board consistency goes, even with the loft change and technology change, because there's certain tech that we'll talk about in another video with Apex Pro that the MB doesn't have. Yet our numbers really weren't affected by it.
Nope.
So, really clean lineup. We're going to pull up the full spectrum chart and look at those landing angles next.
Perfect.
Awesome. So we've got the full spectrum chart behind us now. So we're going to hit on launch angle, spin, and descent angle. So we're going to start first with that Apex Pro. Average launch angle of 17.8, average spin rate of 65, and average descent of 49. So still plenty of stopping power on the greens.
I mean, that's what we expected. It's a degree stronger. It's made to come out a little lower and just let that spin, get that ball up in the air. So those numbers, 50-degree descent angle, that's pretty steep for coming out at 18.7. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we got CB here now, 18.7, 69.86, landing angle of 49.8. So again, consistency. I think that the whole displacement of weight, there's your proof right there.
Yep.
Two totally different shaped irons, totally different tech irons. Both are pretty much launching and landing at the same angle. Because holding greens are important,
Yeah.
you know?
Especially for us when we play on firm Bermuda.
Yep. And what's nice is with the MB, which, again, 18.9, 66, 50 even. You can't say enough good things about how consistent these things truly are.
Yeah.
And then your current iron, 18.4, 64, 49.3.
Yeah. And that's with my fitted iron, right? I typically wouldn't play those shafts. I wouldn't play a standard lie angle. And I mean, the MB numbers, that's what's funny to me. They're identical.
Yeah.
And the club's technically specs are different. And I ultimately think that's because of how it looked to my eye.
Yeah, and it's so important with modern golf clubs to be confident standing over the golf ball, and where that Apex Pro may have been a little bit thicker, even though you like the feel of it the best, because of the shape, you were kind of fighting that a little bit.
For sure.
Maybe where with
For
these
sure.
MBs, you're a little used to it. It's a really solid iron. Plus, how it sits behind the golf ball face angle wise, you're not having to manipulate the club standing over it. And as you know, in a tournament, if you're not having to mess with your golf club and you can just swing it.
Yeah, you got to put it on the ground and just swing it.
Yep.
And I think ultimately the new MB helps me even more than my current set.
Yeah, since they made it a little longer.
A little longer, it just looks more square to my eye. But I want to definitely, I'm going to get a couple sets in. I want to see kind of with their progressive CG, what the difference is in the longer irons, because I still might think about going to a CB in the longer irons.
Which is great because they're made to combo.
Yes,
That's
all
the
of them
whole
are.
point of this new CG and the way they've cambered every sole for each iron is you can realistically play all three if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
it's good to see a set of irons come out with the same name on it, and they're not going to do
10 different things.
Yes. And I'm not knocking any other companies. It's just when a lot of companies are coming out with newer stuff, you want to make sure their marketing jargon is up to par.
Yeah, because
So-
unfortunately it has not been.
No,
A lot of promises
no.
and not a lot of delivery.
Yeah, so all in all, I mean, I'm pretty stoked on how that new MB feels. And then Apex Pro, I'm going to be excited to have that in the fitting bay, because I think that iron's going to surprise a lot of people.
Absolutely, especially a lot of people traditionally when they hear Apex, you've got to be a lower handicap player, but the Apex Pro kind of opens a new spectrum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then, later either in the January, February season or early spring, we'll have TCB, which is that tour iron that, Rom's currently testing and a few other players. So
Yeah.
that'll be, look forward to coming.
Callaway's always known to do some tour stuff that's hard to get to the public. So, they're not going to go away from that now.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, we are also going to have another video that just describes the tech because we haven't hit on all the points today. But it was nice to get in here, review each series with the player who's currently playing the lineup. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you turn on those push bell notifications and subscribe. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.
Boom.